Hello and welcome to today's Living Word. I'm Dwayne Matz. We're picking it up again in the book of Isaiah. We're in chapter 8, looking at verses 17 and 18 today, which reads, "And I will wait on the Lord, who hides his face from the house of Jacob, and I will hope in him. Here am I and the children whom the Lord has given me. We are for signs and wonders in Israel from the Lord of hosts, who dwells in Mount Zion." That's our text, Isaiah 8, 17 and 18. Boy, is there anything more difficult than waiting on the Lord in any given situation? You know, when he appears to have turned his face away from you, you know what I'm talking about. Those times when your soul cries out, "Where are you, God?" Well, Isaiah has come to a point where he realizes that God is about to judge his children. They have turned their backs on him, and he, after giving them plenty of warning, is now going to be turning his back on them. But unlike the others, Isaiah is holding on to hope. He's going to wait on the Lord, confident that the Lord will return, assured that his face will once again shine on his people with grace and mercy. And his assurance came to him through God's gift of two children given to Isaiah. The names of these two children, prophecies in themselves, given to Isaiah as signs and wonders. The first son named Shear-Jashub, which means the remnant shall return, and the second named Maher-Shalal-Hash-Baz, which means hasten to the spoil. Now, both of these names were assurances from God to Isaiah that Judah, first of all, had nothing to fear from those planning a current attack on Jerusalem. In the first place, God would use the Assyrians to take care of these enemies, and they would, quote, hasten to the spoil, Maher-Shalal-Hash-Baz. And in the second place, in a more distant prophecy, Shear-Jashub would indicate that even when the children were carried off to Babylon, a remnant would return. And Isaiah was hanging on to that promise. He was hanging his hat on the gift of these two children that God gave him and the meaning of their names, which God also supplied. Now, this would not be the only time that God would use a child and the name of that child as a sign and wonder. Let me call your attention to Luke 2:12 and the shepherds. As the angel says, "This will be a sign to you. You will find a babe wrapped in swaddling cloths, lying in a manger." And this child, of course, was none other than Jesus. Why named Jesus? Well, Matthew 1:21 tells us she will bring forth a son, and you shall call his name Jesus, for he will save his people from their sins. When you think about it, every child really is a wonder. It's a miracle from God, a God who knits them together in their mother's womb. And who knows, maybe there's a lot of truth to this quote from the poet Carl Sandburg. Maybe you've heard this before. He said, "A baby is God's opinion that the world should go on." I'm Dwayne Matz. That's today's Living Word.